Dude, look at that thing! Holy crap. Moments ago, these two snakes shed. And I know because I've been checking them like 3 times a day. This is the crown jewel right here, guys. And I'm shaking. The Anery shed, and I was like, no way! I pulled the tub out, I just saw a little shed skin there. I'm like, no! Because I've been waiting to see this guy with his egg skin off since last year when I hatched them, and they died, and it was like one of the most heartbreaking things ever. And so he shed, and I'm just coming off the excitement of that. I was like, oh, let me see if the other one shed. And this is my holdback female from the clutch, and she shed too. Look at that thing. So this is a non-Anery. Probably the most significant animal I've ever produced, I would say. I suppose I produced one last year, but I purposefully forgot all about it because of the heartache. This is an anerythristic, pure Karompa. I think a lot of people realize that the anerythristic mutation, it's a simple recessive trait, like albinism. However, it's naturally occurring in the Superdwarf and Dwarf Islands. Not all of them so far, but some of them. The way that it expresses itself, if you look at these two animals, you basically have like the silver phase and the gold phase. So a golden colored retic, a black and gold, nice yinzer color, is your typical wild type reticulated python. But the anerythristic is, they used to just think it was like locality influence or something like that. And we've proved it out to be, not we as in Reach Out Reptiles, but we as in the hobby, proven it to be an inheritable trait. It's simple recessive and it works like anything else. There's several advantages to the anerythristic animals in the wild. Theoretically they could camouflage better during certain seasons and whatnot. And so both types have survived over time. Karompas are probably the king of superdwarfs. They're the smallest reticulated python locality in the world. These are fresh hatch babies. They had their first shed just a minute ago. So normally when you get a fresh hatched reticulated python, it thinks everything's gonna eat it, and they're terrified all the time. These guys are ridiculously calm, every single one I've ever produced, and so far we're the only ones that have produced them in the United States. There's only been 4 clutches of them ever made, and they're very small clutches. These guys was a clutch of 6. Theoretically, everyone's like, you know what I should get? A pure Superdwarf Anery. And then I can outcross it to all kinds of things and make morph combos. Wouldn't it be nice to take a pure Superdwarf that's a visual Anery and run it to whatever your albino genetic stripe. First generation, you would get 50% Superdwarf, triple het, snow stripes. Yeah, that would be cool. Go find a Superdwarf Anery. Good luck. It's almost been, I've been keeping and breeding these guys for like 20 years. And last year when I produced one of these from this same pairing, that was the first that I was convinced was a legitimate visual Anery Superdwarf. A lot of times what you hear people talking about is like, yeah, they're kind of subtle on the pure Superdwarfs, and people will take these kind of subtle Anerys and they'll breed them to things to make combos, and then when they breed the hets together, they don't prove out. Many things that were supposed to be het Anery never proved to be het Anery. And those kind of subtle Anerys, maybe they're just hets because the het Anerys are somewhat visual. Even this girl is not as golden colored as some of our other Karompas, so she's probably a het Anery. But yeah, then you just have the actual silvery natural variation that confuse people. And so you got to be really careful if you're buying het Anerys off a pure Superdwarf, because very few of them have ever been proven by breeding into stuff. The only pure locality Anerys that we've ever sold hets off of was Champeas, and there was only one female that we ever did that with, and she'd proven to be Anery many times over. So Yeah, this is the crown jewel. Karompas, these took me over a decade to finally breed. So far, 5 known wild-caught Karompas left in the United States. And there's a couple more like kind of barn find ones that should be out there hiding in obscure collections or whatever. But it's very difficult to find the legitimate ones that have documentation and you know, came in as Karompas, people know as Karompas. So it took me a really long time and a lot of money and a lot of networking and heartache to get these Karompas produced. And the very first ones were produced just barely over a year ago right here at Reach Out Reptiles. In my second clutch of Karompas, there was an Anery that was this same pairing over again, but we had a mechanical failure. Incubation cooked all but one, and I had a breeding partner on that project. The female Anery, or a head Anery, proved to be a head Anery Karompa, belonged to Metcalf Reptiles. And even though I was entitled to the pick of the litter as the breeder of these wild-caught animals or whatever, I just felt bad about the way it went, and so I gave it to Aaron. And I, you know, normally, like those of you who bought animals from me, kind of part of the Reach Out Reptiles family, you know how much I promote and love updates, and I really enjoy watching my animals grow up, color up, the size of them, trying to get as much of an intimate knowledge of my own bloodlines as possible through all of the, you know, communicative effort of everybody that's worked with these bloodlines. But with Aaron's Anery Karompa, I said, I don't want to see it. It was too much of a heartbreak. It just reminded me, not necessarily that I gave up an Anery Karompa, but of the animals that died and all that kind of stuff. Just made me sad, so I didn't want to see it. Being able to hatch them again this year and getting an Anery Karompa out of it is phenomenal. And not just because I could breed it to an albino genetic stripe and make triple hets or something like that. For me, I just love sitting here and seeing a silver face and a gold face Karompa, like right in front of me in my room, in my snake room. That's a freaking dream come true. It's ridiculous. This is what the pure locality stuff is about for me. Is it's very primal, and I feel very, very connected with these animals' natural history. Having something that, you know, is naturally occurring like this, and knowing that, you know, someday I can go experience their island home, and there will be animals just like this on those islands, and that I'll know all about them, you know, as much as I can, like how they look, how they act, because I've kept them, I've touched them, and I've had both the silver and the gold phase crawling through my fingers on a video like this. This is insane. It was really funny. We weren't going to film a video with these guys this trip because Thomas, say hi Thomas.
What up guys?
Thomas, my video editor, is leaving tomorrow. It's late at night. We're leaving in a couple hours. Basically, we gotta go grab some shut-eye and get up at 4:30 and take you to the airport, right? And the babies hadn't shed, so I was like, it's a bummer. You won't get to film, you know. And we have what I think is an Anery in there. Yeah, so we just looked one more time, and they had shed, and both of us, even Thomas, who's maybe not necessarily like a snake guy, at least not like I'm a snake guy. We both stared in there. We didn't even see the snake at first. We just pulled it open. We saw a strip of shed skin, and we're like, did you were filming it, right?
Yeah, we have a little thing we can play.
Yeah, play the clip.
Okay, Anery Karompa just shed out.
We're like, probably hadn't shed, and then we're like, pull it out. Look at that. That is
the good lights.
This is an Anery Karompa. It's Anery for sure. Dude, look at that thing. Holy crap. I never got to have one of these. I saw it last year when Aaron was out. Dude, look at this. This is not just me. This is cool.
No, I know that. It looks absolutely sick. It's like black and white almost.
Thomas, What you got there? You introduce us to your little friend?
Listen, man. It's an Anery Karompa. Words don't even begin to describe. I'm not in love. I would say it's more
sure?
of
I like how you
more
have
of
to say that.
pretty intense fascination. Maybe some mutual understanding. He's just so chill, and he like crawled on my face.
But you're not in love.
No, strictly friends. Business relationship.
What's his name?
Well, his name's James, and I guess that's because it's my middle name, and I was like, I don't know, it just clicked. This is James, everybody. James the Anery Karompa.
Well, yeah, well, why did you fall in love?
Listen, you don't always know why. It just happens. It's just a great snake. And yeah, so he told me you'll buy a snake when you fall in love with it. And unfortunately, the snake that is apparently capturing my heart right now is one of the single most expensive snakes that Garrett Hartle owns.
Is that your first snake kiss?
I've probably kissed a snake before.
Oh, wow.
Not an Anery Karompa.
Look at you, look freaking obsessed, dude.
I am obsessed, man. Listen, man, you need to take the snake away from me so we can film a Madu episode, because this is emotionally unhealthy.
I love it when people become obsessed as I am. And all it takes is getting in there and looking close
All
enough.
it took was an Anery Karompa.
That's it. Crown jewel, right here. The moment after its first shed. This is a moment and a half. I'm so proud. So proud of my wild-caught animals. Just proud of my staff. Proud of everything. This is awesome.
Are you gonna cry, Garrett?
Probably not. I don't think I can anymore.
This is the sappiest I've seen you since I met you.
Shut up. You're ruining my moment.
Let's get some B-roll of these guys.
If you guys want to learn more about what it's taken to produce these Karompas, you need to watch this video right here.